Okay, you're there and I'm here. Hello, welcome to the Phil Taylor Jones Show. It's destiny that we're together once again, or is it circumstance? Well, maybe a little bit of both. The circumstance we're talking about today is this ISIS circumstance. It is pretty much a concern of everybody's, but I'm concerned about it more from the American standpoint. And I'm concerned about it in this way. Well, let me just set the stage here. Usually, when things come up like this, especially anything political or governmental type thing, I always try to apply a little critical thinking to it because, as history shows, nothing with the government is ever as it really seems. They're a bunch of creeps and crooks, and they're ready to try to steer you whichever way is most expedient for them. Okay, this ISIS thing. Okay, anybody who would figure that in today's world terrorism is not a threat is a fool, because it is. We've had countless things that are not there anymore to be indicative of that fact, such as the Twin Towers. We can, remember when the Pentagon was damaged and when an airplane went down in a field during 9/11. Over in the foreign country, there has been numerous bombings where suicide bombers have gone in and created havoc and wreaked havoc upon innocent people. So yes, the threat of terrorism is definitely upon us in this time period. But I can't help but think of politicians too and how self-serving they are. Take this president we have at current. That guy has to be about one of the luckiest people in the world because in the time period that he's been in office, he hasn't done very much to help us in this country with the problems at hand in this country. The economy, the jobs, healthcare. Well, some may argue, well, he's come up with a healthcare plan, but it's got bugs in it, big bugs, biting at your wallet. The many problems we face here, this immigration problem, the homeless problem, which nobody really seems to care about or mention, we've got a lot of junk in our trunk, so to speak. And he has epically failed at removing or eradicating that junk from our trunk. So now, he tends to shift. He's the greatest shifter that I've ever seen. If he's not making headway over here, he'll shift to something over here where he can appear to be working for the American people. And this ISIS thing and the Ebola outbreak are two of his main shifting points. Okay, so he's put all the other stuff on the back burner. We're still hurting for jobs. As I alluded to in another video, yeah, there have been so many million jobs created, but part-time, seasonal, all that kind of thing. How many real 8-hour jobs with full benefits that could sustain your life, help you to pay your house note, help you to pay your lease or apartment payment, help you take care of your car, whether it's new or used, or get you some other kind of transportation and still have enough money to live on. That's the kind of jobs I'm talking about. Not some 3 to 4 hour jobs with no benefits where you have to have 16 different jobs to try to halfway make it. That's the kinds that have been created, most of them. So he's forgotten about that. The immigration thing he's kind of put on the back burner because one, he's already got his butt back in there for the other 4 years that he wanted. And now if he picks up the immigration thing again, it will only be to get this dried up Democratic Party back in office in 2016. So, these foreigners that he's chomping at the bit for should realize he doesn't give a tinker's damn about them. All he wants to do is use them, and they probably want to use him so they can stay here and mooch off this country. So let's just get that out of the way. And as far as the economy is going, as I alluded to earlier, yeah, it's going all right for the fat cats in New York and on Wall Street. So it's fine for them, but for us, we're still suffering. So yeah, all that's been sort of skirted over to the side because now national security has taken over, and I'm fighting ISIS, but for national security. Okay, this is the problem I have with him and ISIS. Number one, that's somebody else's business. ISIS is over there. Like I said, I don't really worry about ISIS. I worry about ISIS in Washington. That's over there. They're fighting and they're wreaking havoc over there. Secondly, I have a big problem with the way he's doing it. And some of the former generals and big army muckety-mucks have said this guy is an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. And that's more than evident. Because since when do you tell anybody, especially the enemy, what you're doing or what you're attempting to do or what you're planning to do? You tell the bastards nothing. When they know anything, they got a missile up the ass, okay? You tell them nothing. When is the last time you heard of a thief telling a potential victim, hey, I want you to be ready at 12:30 tonight because I'm coming to break in your house. So if you could have all your valuables, in a nice little soft sack next to the door and bring all your big ticket items like your big screen TV and your stereo and your DVR and all of this, your TiVo or whatever it is, to the door, or better yet, do you provide curb service? I'll honk the horn at 12:30 at midnight, and then you come out there and help me load the truck with your goods, and then we'll say goodbye. Yeah, bullcrap. They're not gonna tell you they're coming. They're gonna come as they are, a thief in the night, surprise attack, preferably when you're not home. So why is this president giving them any kind of inkling of what he's doing? Yeah, there's some out there. Well, the American public has a right to know. Yeah, they have a right to know after the job is done, after the bastards have been eradicated. Then you get on TV and say, well, this is what we did. We had airstrikes. We had boots on the ground. We had ships in the water. We, just bombed the heck out of them. And this is the way we strategically did it. Yeah, it's after it's done. It's after the bastards have been eradicated, not before. And here's the other thing. He's going around getting different countries to back him up and to work with him, supposedly, so this is a global effort to get rid of this terrorism and all of these groupies who like to terrorize, okay? Well, my grandmother had another saying, before you can kick ass, you gotta bring ass. You can't leave yours at home. Doesn't he understand that they're probably doing the very same thing? That it's ISIS, yeah, they're kind of an offshoot from Al-Qaeda, but Al-Qaeda is, I guess, one of the main heads. So ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, Boko Haram, all of the terrorists terrorizing together. Maybe he's getting, maybe rather they're getting all of their little ducks in order. And here's the big thing, they're not telling anybody. They're not on the news blasting about, what they're gonna do. Before you know it, we could have a missile up the butt. You don't talk about things. Even his own private security was compromised the other day when some idiot not only jumped the fence, but got up to the White House door, practically in there. Some reports are saying that the person actually got in. Some reports are saying that they got to the door. But anyway, it's madness. And he actually allowed that to be put on national television. How stupid is that? I wouldn't want anybody to know that my elite, protection force, the Secret Service, was that derelict in their duties that they not only allowed an idiot to jump over the fence, which has been done numerous times before, but to get that close to me. So that shows that somebody has dropped the ball somewhere, even with his security. You don't divulge things. You keep some things close to the vest until after the actions have taken place. The Ebola thing. Again, he stepped up to the forefront. Oh, this is a matter of national security. We're going to donate so many thousands, millions, billions of dollars to the Ebola outbreak, and we're going to send people over there to train them how to get rid of it, and yada, yada, yada. Taking away, again, from the major problem, which are the problems in this country. Problems we've been facing since and before he even got in office. He has done very little, if anything, to eradicate those problems. But now he has two major things that he can focus on, possibly until 2016, till he gets his ass out of there. Oh, well, I'm working hard. Oh, and you can see him on the news. He's walking and strutting with big officials in the military, and he's over at the United Nations, and he's, looking very presidential, and he's busy, and he's protecting America, and, he's doing all this, and, oh, yes, I'm doing this for national security. Friggin' right. First of all, the problem I have with that is he's got us all, he and the news media got us looking towards the sky, keep watching the skies, looking for bombs or people coming over, ISIS or anybody else coming over here to do us bodily harm, or looking for the Ebola people, somebody coughing and sneezing and scratching. We're looking over here to see if they're coming over. We don't get next to that person, it might get it. I liken what he's doing to this very example. Over here is your front door. You got it wide open, unlocked, open. Everything can come in, up to and including flies, wide open. And then you've got your back turned to the door, and you're looking out the window over here for potential burglars and creeps and unsavory characters to come in. Okay, you're on the 10th floor, so they would have to, scale the wall, shoot something in, a grappling hook or something, and you would readily see that. So you're looking over here for disaster when it's walking in the back door, in the front door, and anything could happen to you. Well, that's the same way it is in this country. We're looking to the skies for possible things to happen, and this character's got the front door open and letting all these foreigners come in here, or anybody. So that's what I'm saying. He's talking about national security. How in the hell can you talk about national security with an open door policy? When the first attack happened on the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers, this is World Trade Center. The border should have been closed at that time, because at that particular moment, something went wrong with our security to make us insecure. If somebody can get in your country and blow the hell out of you, you're not secure. I would have closed the borders then. I would have put out a proviso to any of our citizens working in foreign countries. Look, you need to come home because we're closing the borders. You're trying to protect American interests overseas. Well, I would imagine that interest over there is minuscule compared to the billions of people we have in this country. The main focus is the masses. If you want to work over there, you work over there at your own risk. Common sense dictates that if outlaws are coming into the city, you get the hell out of Dodge. You know that if anything breaks in these foreign countries, especially those that are tied to Islam or these Islamic extremists, that Americans are the main target. Yeah, they don't like the French, they don't like the Aussies, they don't like the British. But the Americans, you're walking around with a bullseye on your head, and you're going to be the first to go. Now, don't get me wrong, I am deeply sorry about those two American journalists that were beheaded, or anybody that was beheaded. But speaking as an American, yes, that was very hurting. But I got to tell you, by the same token, there is no job in this world I'd be willing to lay my life on the line for. Going over to a crazy-ass, war-torn place like that, where you could die at any moment just for a bloody story, I can't get behind that. Associate with somebody over there from over here. Say, send me the videos or send me some clips or whatever you have, and I'll try to get it on the air. I'm not going over there and getting my ass shot off just for a damn story. And the people working in the embassy and stuff over there, what few Americans are over there, bring your butts home. Find something to do here. You don't need to be over there in a war-torn country. And if you are, if I were president, I'd say, okay, if you want to be over there, you're over there at your own risk. I got to protect interests here at home. and going around pissing these people off, as crazy as they are, you never can say what will or will not happen. So, you know, this guy is skating on thin ice with this, and these other people that he supposedly got in. How do you know that they're your friends? You know, I can just imagine an American jet and maybe some kind of Israeli, not Israeli, but Arab jet or whatever. These people that could be potential enemies that are pretending to be friends, or could be ISIS and he doesn't know it. The jets, American jets out in front, drop the bombs and what have you, and bam, this jet blows the American jet out of the sky. Whoops, sorry, friendly fire. You know, how does he know what that these people are actually allies or what have you? This is a dangerous game that this guy is playing with these people who aren't playing games. So I think his attention would be most beneficial to things over here. Yeah, now if they actually come over here and start doing stuff, yeah, blow their asses to smithereens. But they're working their thing from their side of the street over there. And that's one of the main reasons why there is a conflict. They're one of the reasons why we don't have the Twin Towers anymore. This country is too busy being a sticky beak, sticking their nose in other people's business, trying to put it out there that democracy is the best way in the world to live, and that you should adopt it, and you're not doing the right thing in your country, and then just preaching his bit in the American way and all of this. Well, we got some flaws in our system too, because if we didn't, then why do we have all these hungry people on the street? If we didn't, why doesn't everybody in the American, in all the United States, living the American dream, having a job, a nice house, car, what have you? Why are we overrun with so many people from other countries that shouldn't even be here if our, way was so great? So before you go over there telling somebody else how to live, make sure your own damn backyard is clean. So yeah, here again, we got these little, we got our Ebola thing and we got our ISIS thing. So this guy can coast all the way probably to 2016 with not really having done anything to benefit what we were going through when he took office. Like I said, he's very lucky that he can have that happen. News media, they need to tighten up on their loose lips, because there again, they report stuff that is very sensitive. I don't care how minute it may seem to us, these people that he's supposedly against, the ISIS and the Al-Qaedas and everybody else, they're listening. Not only to what news media says, but what their operatives right here in this country are saying. Because as I alluded to earlier, and I can't get away from that fact, how does he know that they're not in this country right now? He doesn't, because of his open door policy. Oh, the DREAM Act and all of this stuff, and let the people come in, because they could be potential people that will one day become entrepreneurial and open up jobs. Well, the crooks are coming, the terrorists might be coming right through that same door that everybody else is coming through, that he's left open. So how do you know that ISIS isn't already over here? Getting together with their operatives that have been here for 15 years, 20 years. How does he know that? He doesn't. Because if you look back at 9/11, the people didn't fly the airplanes over here from different lands. They flew them from right here in the United States. And in as much as they were 757, 767s, those are big airliners. Yeah, they're not as big as 747s or Airbus A380s, but they're big airliners, and you don't learn how to fly those damn things in 2 days. It takes time. So, you're talking about national security and chomping at the bit on either level, whether it be ISIS or Ebola. You are full of crap, because you probably let Ebola in this country. You probably let ISIS in this country because you don't take care of your borders. So you're lucky. You can, kind of turn away. Oh, I've got committees working on that over there. I've got committees working on that. Or Joe Biden, he's taking care of the economic, because I'm focusing on national security with the ISIS and the Ebola. And I heard on the news the other night where he's figuring maybe these airstrikes may go on for years. All that money going up a wild hog's ass, and you tell the hog to sue it. The airplanes cost money to fly, fuel, maintenance, the bombs, the missiles cost money. Even the drones cost money. You've got some person sitting up in some facility somewhere, like PlayStation, controlling them, and dropping bombs and whatever. Cost money. The big old aircraft carriers that are out there floating around in the oceans, sending the jets off. Those huge things cost money to run. All of that money going to nose in somebody else's business under the guise of national security. And yet, your borders are open. You got groups coming over here on the tops of freight trains. You got them coming in under the bellies of under the cargo holes of airplanes. Your stuff isn't tight. I would think that your borders would be one of the major ways that you could, tighten up and have security for your nation. Not going off 7,000 miles away, dropping bombs on somebody that may or may not come over here. Because, technically, they don't have anything to prove. They've already proved that America is not what it should be, and whoever's running it is derelict in their duties, because we don't have the Twin Towers anymore. So they've already proved it. Nobody has to prove that this president is a goofball. Everybody knows that by the way he mismanages this country. So they're fighting, with the Syrians and whoever else they're fighting, the Iranians and the Pakistanis or whoever they're fighting over there, trying to fight for their own purposes and their own prestige and their own levels of echelon over there. Now, is it a certainty that they won't ever attack again? No, nothing is certain in this life but death and taxes. But you look at it from what it is. They wanted to take this country down a peg because we were so secure, we were so smug, we were so, arrogant. And they came over and they took that away in one fell swoop in 9/11. So, where's this going? You're just going to keep dropping bombs on people forever and your missile strikes? And how do we know how effective they are? We're over here at home looking at news on television, and we know the propaganda value of what these news people are. They're screwing up and getting stuff mixed up every day. They're controlled by the Democrats, and the pictures that we've seen, are we in the airplanes watching the bombs as they are dropped on these alleged sites? I come to the realization is not to believe anything you see on that television, or not very much that you read in the news media, because they're controlled by the government. And the government and these politicians are full of crap. Everybody knows it. And they're constantly trying to feed us a crap salad. That, you gotta be watching the skies for Al-Qaeda. You gotta be watching the skies for this one. And we caught so many people over here, attempted terrorist attacks, and attempted this, and attempted that. They just searching you when you go to the airports now. What the hell are they searching people for to go from the airport when they're letting them in the back door every day, in the front door every day? They get in the country as visitors, even if they're not trying to sneak in. Okay, suppose they come over legitimately with a visa, or if they buy a ticket and they jump a jet and they come over here. Oh, I want to go and see Disneyland. I want to see the Grand Canyon. I want to see Pikes Peak. And then it's time for them to go home. How many of them actually go back home? And how do we know that they actually went? We don't. So, national security, you better rethink your strategy, because it means more than just going 7,200 miles away to drop bombs, or 12,000 miles away to drop bombs on other people and claim that you're doing it in the vein of national security, or to send some people to Africa to stop an outbreak of a disease because you claim you're doing this in the vein of national security. Something to think about. National security. Are we really secure? Or is it just something he wants us to think that he's working diligently at? The way he acts, he should be here in Hollywood. Because for the 6 years or the 7 years he's been in office, he's been acting like a president, not really being one. Something to think about. That's it for this video. Glad you were with me. For the loyal supporters out there, I thank you very much. If you would like to become a supporter, there is a way that you can do it, and I think it's right there on the old YouTube account. And we'll be coming to you as often as we can with what's on today's agenda, what's on people's minds, what are they thinking about. Stay safe, and to the extent possible in this crazy world, stay happy. See you next time. Bye-bye.